quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
For me, I gotta build a snowman.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
I'm mixing names, swapping pitchers' names, and everyone today. So thanks for catching.
I've given up on Drew Lock. I think you trade him.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
How are we talking about the Thunder in a MLB preview? I have no idea.
That's a perfect name. What you said, name brand players. Like, it's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort. Yeah, this questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach. He's making the best of the Detroit Pistons situation.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was surprised that the Clippers gave up Lou Williams.
Everything's going wrong for the Lakers at the wrong time.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
Them losing like 40 players to the Chargers who play online.
I'm just gonna, and it lands to the Dolphins. I'm just gonna have to throw my hands into the air.
I agree 100%, and the reason why I agree is because this is a terrible trade for the long term.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season. So happy belated birthday to Madison Bowie.
Sam Bennett's someone I really expected to be a better player.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? We are back with another MLB Opinions episode. We're going to talk about a little bit of what Manfred said of how he wouldn't delay or say that spring training is delayed. But it most likely is going to get delayed because I know the MLB owners are going to come up with something and send it to the players on Saturday, or that's what they said. They may change it later, but we were talking about it off air. It's 15 days till spring training would start, and there's so many players still left on the market. It just doesn't make sense. I don't get Manfred not saying, yeah, we're going to delay. Spring training's going to get delayed, but who knows?
Yeah, I 100% agree, and he kind of framed it in a way where he didn't say like, "Oh, we're not going to, He didn't say like we're not going to make it on time. He basically said we're on schedule, which seems kind of, like you said, not true. I don't know how they make it on time with over 300 free agents still yet to be signed, and a lot of trades to be made to make those transactions work in the first place. And there's a lot to do for the MLB overall, and there's no way they make it by the 15-day deadline.
Yeah, and it would just, if you're rushing, then there might be more injuries. I just hope this regular season starts on time. Like, I'm fine with spring training being shortened, especially when I can maybe go to the Rangers home opener when Joey Gallo returns. But it's time sensitive then, so that's what I'm thinking. And we've talked about it a lot. If you got nothing else to say about the lockdown, we are gonna move into top 5 players left on the market, because you said over 300 players. We each wrote different lists of top 5 players we believe are left on the market. Any final thoughts before we move on, Austin?
No, I just hope the season starts on time. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, I just want to see all the new players for the Rangers. Now, top 5 players left on the market. We'll go 5-1. I'll let you go with 5. Your 5.
My 5 is Chris Bryant. I really expect Chris Bryant to get a handsome sum of money from a team that really does want to contend, and I'm excited to see where he goes. It's definitely a big name left on the board.
So my 5 is Anthony Rizzo. I think he's a great first baseman, and of course he played with the Cubs, and then he played with the Yankees this season. I'm interested to see if he resigns with the Yankees or he goes somewhere else. So that's my 5. Who's your 4?
My 4 is Anthony Rizzo. I only put him ahead because I believe that he is more of a presence in the locker room than Chris Bryant, and his defensive upside, I think, is higher than Bryant's, and while his offensive upside may be a little bit below, I believe that a locker room leadership is more important. So, yeah, he's my 4.
Okay, so my 4 is Trevor Story, mostly because he's a shortstop and he's able to steal bags and he makes some fantastic defensive plays. I remember it was 2 seasons ago, it was during the shortened season. Someone was stealing on the Rangers and he caught the ball below in the air and then they tagged him while he was still in the air or something like that. It was just incredible. And I really hope he goes to somewhere other than the Rockies, just so I can see him more on big games or in big games.
My number 3 is Kenley Jansen. Jansen is a huge name when it comes to closing, and I don't know if he returns. I don't know what the Dodgers do here. He had a great season last year, 38 saves, 2.22 ERA. Great player, and I feel like if he goes somewhere, he could really change the bullpen for the better. So Kenley Jansen's my number 3.
I don't think you're gonna like my number 3. It's Chris Bryant. I really like his defensive versatility and his bat, and just mostly how he was like the main player. He was the most showcased on the Cubs. Like there was a billboard when he was still in the minors leagues. I'm not because you did talk about Rizzo, but I have Bryant at 3, and I really think the Mariners are going to sign Bryant.
Interesting. I don't know about that. I don't know if the Mariners want to do that, especially with Corey Dickerson already at third base. But you're right. He does have defensive versatility, so I could see him playing multiple positions. My number 2 is Freddie Freeman. I would like to see him in pinstripes. I don't know if he leaves. If the Braves want to keep him, they just have to pay him. But I don't know if the Braves are going to. They may be a little bit stingy here, and that would be for the negative of the team overall.
My number 2 is Carlos Correa. He almost was my 1, but the injuries put him down at number 2. So even though he's fantastic when he's on the field, but he's dealt with some issues, specifically his back. So that's why he's at my number 2. But
Is Freddie your number 1?
yeah, Freddie's my number 1.
Okay, my number 1's Correa. I feel like those top 2 could really be flip flopped, but I would say that right now the better player of the 2 is Correa because shortstop is a much more. If you're better at defense at shortstop, that's much more important than being better at defense at first base, especially when uh, a team like the Yankees always has a good defensive first baseman. If DJ has to move to first base, if that's what we do.
Yeah, that is a solid argument because like shortstop is one of the premier positions, but it's just I'm a little worried about Correa's injuries in the past, but he could fix it, and then I would have him at 1. But Freeman, I think, is just a complete package: leadership, great bat, comes up in big moments, and fantastic defensive player. I
You
hope he
didn't you
returns to the
you did
Braves.
not have. I'm just checking. You did not have a pitcher,
I
correct?
did not have a pitcher. To me, I did see Kenley Jensen, but I just didn't see a starter in the top 5. It's mostly position players because I feel a lot of the top pitchers already signed. Like Scherzer signed, Verlander signed, um, Kershaw is unsigned, but I don't think it's going to be the Kershaw of old. I think it's just going to be a a good, very solid pitcher, great pitcher, but I don't know
Hmm.
if he's top 5
The
left on
bullpen's
the board.
just as important. The bullpen pitches more. So I would almost argue in some cases a closer is more important than a starter, especially if you already have a starter or two to lock down those first couple games of a set. I'm surprised you didn't have Kelly Jansen. Like I said, he was an absolute beast last year. I didn't
Yeah.
want to have Trevor Story because he did not have that great of a season last year comparatively to the other guys on the list. So yeah, that's why I didn't have it. And I'm surprised you had Chris Bryant as high, but
Yeah,
it's what it makes
I can
sense.
see that. Yeah, and then Kenley Jensen, I know he did well last year, but in the past he had struggled with um, in big moments. Just it kept getting to him, but he is a great, solid bullpen and great closer. So maybe we'll expand on the list next episode. Go 6 through 10. So
Sure.
we'll see where we have other players, and then that's all we got for the MLB. Hopefully the season starts and we get to see or just like get the free agency so we can see where Freeman goes, where Correa goes, where Bryant goes, where Jensen goes, and where Kershaw goes. So as we're still relying on some predictions from before the start of free agency. So we'll keep you updated on that, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.